Are we seeing the downfall of Airbnb? Our cabin that has been booked in the Smoky Mountains from about 85 to 95% occupancy year-round is just not occupied at all. Our prices right now for a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom cabin overlooking the Smoky Mountains is less than a hotel, and I have to beg people to come to my cabin right now.
Airbnb's downfall is quite simple actually. It's because y'all deviated from y'all original business model, which was to be cheaper and more convenient than hotels. At first, you guys were, but now you just aren't. Number one, you cost more than a hotel. Now keep this in mind. You can get into a really fancy hotel for less than $200 a day. If you go on Airbnb right now, the cheapest house is $200 a day. Then you have to factor in cleaning fees, which is another $250, $300. With hotels, you just don't have that. With Airbnbs, you got to put all the towels in the washer. You got to put the trash out to the curb. Like with the hotels, you get in, you get out. You check in, you check out. That's it. Then you got to factor in all the hidden fees with Airbnb. Your host might not be available 24/7. With hotels, you always have a front desk attendant, so you can always go there if you have a problem. And just think about it. When you're on vacation, you typically go on vacation, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. When you buy Airbnb, your first day, you have to go out and go grocery shopping. But mind you, you're on vacation. You don't want to go grocery shopping. You really don't even want to go cook for yourself. With hotels, they offer free breakfast. So all you have to do is go downstairs, eat breakfast, and you are good for the day. So for your typical 3-day weekend, you want to go to a hotel. For your really expensive hotels, we're talking about $200 a day. We're at $400 for our typical 3-day weekend, 2-night stay. If you take that same scenario and go to Airbnb, you're looking at $650, $700. On top of the fact that Airbnbs, you have to clean up behind yourself, you have to go out and go buy groceries, and you have to cook for yourself. So not only has Airbnbs outpriced themselves from hotels, you have outconvenienced yourself from hotels as well, if that's a word. So no, it's really not hard to figure out why Airbnbs are failing. You guys have outgreeted your own selves. But let me know what you guys think. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Airbnb is gonna collapse the housing market. You wanna know how I know this? We're seeing the same crazy prices that we were in the early 2000s. And some people might say, oh, well, no, that was mortgage-backed securities and we're not doing that anymore. We're not doing any subprime lending. But that's not the reason. The reason is single point of failure. Back in 2008, the reason that the housing market went into crisis was because people couldn't pay the notes on their adjustable mortgages. So lots of people defaulted, homes went into foreclosure, a lot of supply came on the market, housing prices went down. We're seeing the exact same thing right now with Airbnb and short-term rentals. Except this time, the single point of failure, instead of being adjustable rate mortgages, it is oversupply of short-term rentals. Don't believe me? Let's look at the data. By now, we've all seen this tweet where they talk about the declines of Airbnb, 50% declines in Phoenix and Austin. But if you notice, a lot of those cities on this list are smaller towns. They're not big, thriving metropolises, right? These are just tiny little towns that have a lot of Airbnbs and a significant drop in revenue. But when you hear from Airbnb, they're saying, oh, well, we've seen a huge rise in demand. Look at this growth we're seeing. We're seeing year over year, significant percentages, 31% more bookings. So obviously nothing's wrong. That's the hidden problem. It's not demand. People always want to travel. People love to travel. People love Airbnb for the most part. Supply is the problem. The reason why people are seeing such huge declines is because of competition and how many more people are getting into Airbnb. This is just my market here in Virginia. This is a 50% increase in supply, right? We've got 50% more Airbnbs year over year from compared to last year. So your next question is, well, how does that translate into the housing market? So the reason it affects the housing market is people purchased these Airbnbs using old data. They used old occupancy numbers, old revenue numbers to decide whether or not the purchase of these homes were worth it. Instead of being smart and using long-term tenants as their income data, they used short-term tenants, which means they overpaid. And in conjunction with overpaying, they're now stuck in a 6, 7, even higher percent interest rate. So how does that translate into the housing collapse? The more supply, the more people get in, the less demand per listing, the lower money that's coming in per host. Once people realize that they're not getting the income that they expected and they're locked into a 7% mortgage on an overinflated property value, they are effed. And so what are they going to do? They can't rent it to a long-term tenant. They're not going to make the income that they were expecting. The houses are going to be put up for sale. They're going to be taken for losses. They're going to be foreclosed on. 2 years max, I'm calling it.
Dude, Airbnb has gotten so unbelievably ridiculous in these last few years that I don't even want to do it or book them ever again. I'd rather just go stay at a hotel because it's so much more convenient. This has happened multiple times, but I will go to, usually it's an apartment complex that I like have an Airbnb with, and they'll be like, oh yeah, like parking's included, like self check-in, whatever. And I'm like, cool. You book it, right? And then they send you like 14 paragraphs on how to get into the building, how to park, where the lockbox is, all these rules, all this shit. And then this last one I was at was literally like, you're not allowed to go into the main bedroom. Like, we locked it. You have to stay in the guest. And I'm like, that was not on the description whatsoever. And then on top of that, the fucking place was like Fort Knox. Like, security was through the roof. They kept asking you who I was and why I was there. They're not supposed to Airbnb, so I had to tell them that I was staying with a friend. And then, like, the instructions to get into the building were insane. It was like, take a left on Freeman Drive, and then you're going to go to a bush. There's going to be a homeless man named Nelson. You're going to ask him for the code to the lockbox. The lockbox is on the skyscraper to the left. You have to scale the walls like fucking Assassin's Creed and get the fucking lockbox. Come down. Get the parking pass. So you have to park on the street. Make sure you do it for only 5 minutes or you'll get towed. And then you gotta run down the stairs. Don't tell anybody that this is an Airbnb. It's just like... Oh, and they told me to water their plants while they were gone. And take out the trash. And strip the sheets. And I'm like... Why didn't I just stay at a fucking hotel? I can't stand this shit anymore. It used to be so fun, and now nothing is fun anymore.
Okay, let's talk about the reasons that Airbnb is in its flop era. I'm Fortessa, I'm a journalist, and I'm reporting on this for Business Insider. So I've talked to a ton of people over the last few days, and these are the 3 main reasons that people said they're going back to hotels after staying at Airbnbs. Number 1, the extra fees. So it feels like in the beginning, Airbnb was sold as like cheaper than hotels, and it was cheaper than hotels for a while, but now there are like all these extra fees, and people are especially mad about the cleaning fee when they have to like do chores. Which brings me to number 2, which is that there's like a lot of rules now. Like, you have to strip the beds, you have to wipe down the counters, you have to start the dishwasher, you have to blah, blah, blah. There are curfews, whatever. And people are like, why am I paying all this money if I have to do all this? And number 3 is a moral issue. People feel like, and it's true, backed up by data, that Airbnb is ruining local rental market and they don't want to be a part of it. So tell me what you think and follow me for more.
Are we seeing the downfall of Airbnb? I sure hope so. And I saw this girl come on here and ask that question, and she was talking about how she owns a cabin, and I want to say it's the Smoky Mountains, and how it used to stay booked like 85 to 95% of the time, and now it's barely getting any reservations. And she came on here and she was genuinely asking people like, why aren't you booking Airbnbs anymore? And I was like, oh, I think I can answer that. Because I've talked about this before on my page, and I used to love booking an Airbnb, right? Like late 2010s, early 2020s, my college era. It was so easy. You and a couple of friends could split a whole house. It was cheap. It was super, super fun. And the expectations were really simple. It was like, take out the trash, don't leave it disgusting. Fair enough. But it's just not like that anymore, is it? Now Airbnbs are the same price as hotels, if not more. And with a hotel, you're getting actual service. Like, you don't have to clean, you don't have to strip the beds and start the laundry, take out the trash and load the dishwasher, and take a picture of the thermostat before you leave. Like, there's a whole checklist. I don't clean that much at my own house. Like, be so serious. Why am I paying a cleaning fee and then also being told I need to clean? And I don't care what anybody says. I love hotel amenities. I do. I want the fresh towels, like I want the toiletries, like especially on a beach trip, when you're washing your hair every single day. I'm not trying to use my $50 shampoo every single day. Give me the little hotel bottles, let a girl live. And on top of that, is it just me, or do Airbnbs just feel riskier now? They do. Like, you're constantly hearing stories about hidden cameras, weird hosts showing up unannounced. Like, from a woman's perspective, it just doesn't feel as safe as it used to. And as a matter of fact, don't even get me started on the hosts. A couple years back, I literally booked an Airbnb for a music festival, like It had to be at least 6 months in advance because I knew it was going to be hard to find something as it got like closer to the festival. And then a week or two before, the host messages me saying like they didn't realize there was a music festival and they could have charged more. And they asked me to cancel. But don't worry, they told me I could rebook at a higher price. Excuse me. And when I said no, suddenly there were unforeseen renovations and my reservation got canceled. Okay, we all know what that was, right? And then like just zooming out even more for a broader perspective, a lot of people are just over what Airbnb has done to the housing market. Like all of these homes bought up just to be short-term rentals. They're sitting empty half the time while actual families can't afford to buy a house. Like, yeah, I think people are really fucking over it. And I saw someone comment something that honestly sums up like the whole situation perfectly. Hotels understand that they are providing you a service, like, and they treat you like you are a guest. Airbnbs act like they are doing you a favor. And that's just not how I want to feel on my vacations. Airbnbs were truly, genuinely just ruined by hosts.
I've been seeing a lot of videos talking about the downfall of Airbnb. A lot of y'all may know, some don't know, but I do own 2 Airbnbs in Austin, Texas. I should be closing on my 3rd one next month. The reason why y'all Airbnbs are not performing is because you guys are not making them an experience. People book Airbnbs for a plethora of reasons, but it's 2 main things. 1, they typically prioritize that at-home vibe while they're out of state. And 2, they hate hotels and especially the cost. Right now in this economy, we have no choice. At this point, all Airbnbs is the same amount as a hotel. I'm actually planning a trip to LA now for next year, and when I'm looking at hotels or Airbnbs, it's the same fucking rate. So if you are an Airbnb owner, you need to focus on making it an experience. Maybe add a pool table. If you have a house, try to get a jacuzzi, game room, something. This may be harder to do if you have an apartment that's an Airbnb, but if you have a house, it's not going to be that hard. Also, too, I think this is common sense, and I think everybody should do this if you have an Airbnb, but I don't think a lot of y'all are using AirDNA. Because if the rent is $5,000 and they telling you that you're going to be bringing in $3,000 a month max from this Airbnb, why the fuck would you go with it? Like, a lot of y'all been doing that. I don't know why. Keep in mind, real estate as a whole is just a simple numbers game. It's very simple math.
So I made a video several months ago talking about how Airbnb has just lost their mind, and so many of the sellers will price their units so highly and you get really nothing in return for the price that you pay. Well, this is exhibit A, B, C, D, E, F, G until Z, because we walked into a unit last night. We're paying $500 US a night for this unit, and this is probably the most horrific Airbnb that I've ever been to. It's in Aspen, Colorado, actually 30 minutes outside of Aspen. Snowmass. And I just have to show you guys what this is like. So we walk in, and first of all, there's just a man right here. We don't know who he is. He doesn't say a word. He's apparently fixing this, but like doesn't say a word. He's just there. Okay, weird. Then we had to go and leave to go get food, and he was like, well, I'm not finished here, so I'm going to stay here. Who are you? We have to leave all of our stuff now here with you. The Airbnb host didn't tell us that there was going to be someone here, so now we have to leave all of our belongings with a stranger who could have easily just grabbed anything. Cool. Walk in. It's freezing in here. There's no furniture except this. No furniture. Like...
No, there's a chair.
There's a chair. The outlets are literally falling apart. Okay, sure. And then we're like, oh, at least there's a fireplace because it's freezing in here. Let's warm it up. Fireplace doesn't work. Okay. Then we try to warm up the thermostat here. Put it on to max. This is the max amount of furniture that they have, by the way. Like, and nothing of it matches. So I know they got everything for $2 at Dollar General. Anyway, turn the heat on. Go over here. No heat coming out. Oh my God, amazing. Okay. Then we go into the bedroom. It's a little bit of a mess. This is the bedroom. This is a double bed in this bedroom. No night tables, no headboard. I didn't realize that I was shacking it up with like a bachelor in like first year college. There's no curtains. These are like the thinnest blinds ever. So at night, it's so bright I could read a book in here. The walls are so thin I could hear a feud that was happening outside, except it felt like we were on the Maury show and it was happening inside our bedroom. The pillows don't even match. The pillows are from Dollar General for sure. They're stained and disgusting. And I'm just like, and even now, we went to sleep last night. It was so bright in here, so loud, so cold. We messaged the host. We end up calling him this morning, and we're like, man, what in the world is going on? Because this Airbnb is like 25% of the way done. And he's like, well, this is just what it is. What? Like, we as humanity are losing it if we're okay paying these prices. Like, we have to stand up. Like, it's out of control. Oh, and also there's no hot water to shower. So at the very least, it's like room temperature. So when I was showering last night, I had goosebumps. Oh, that too. I had goosebumps while I was showering. So try shaving, doing that. And then the best part is that there was a hot tub in the listing. Like in the photos, there was a hot tub. And we're like, okay, amazing. We're like, we'll go to the hot tub, whatever. We get here, there's no hot tub. So we call him and he's like, oh no, there is a hot tub, but you have to get in the car and go to it. And he's like, and when you go to it, it's at this other building, but pretend that you're staying there because it's not part of our unit. So now you have me lying to get to another building, to get to a hot tub, and then come back sopping wet in my sopping wet clothes to then shower here. So that's Airbnb for you.